Hey, happy Wednesday. Welcome to Candidly Speaking with Chelle Kell. I'm Kell.
I'm Chelle. We are so glad that you are with us tonight. Hopefully you're watching live. If not, catching the replay. If you would just let us know in the comments that you're here and where you're from, we would love to know about that. So thanks for being here.
We also want questions. We got the wonderful, amazing Larry Levine on tonight. And this is your chance to ask the man.
Absolutely. And I know I always say that we have amazing guests, but tonight I have been so excited all week. I can't even, well, actually, since we got him scheduled, I couldn't believe that he was going to be here. So, please get on, get your questions because the man himself is here with us on Chelle Kell. So
I know. Can you believe it?
I know.
Okay. Hey, Michelle, I just did that. I just pushed the button that made her comment go underneath your picture.
Oh,
Bruce gave me power. He gave me power tonight.
Your skills are impressive, girl.
I know. So do I just leave it or Bruce is going to have to help me? But anyway, so let's take care of some housekeeping. Sponsors for our show. We have Blue Sky Video Productions. That is our own Bruce Himmelblau. He is our producer. He makes all the magic happen behind the scenes, although he's given me a little bit of freedom here to push buttons. Shame on him. He'll probably take away that freedom by next week. Wait, look, I got to click it again because there's our friend Randy. Hey, Randy.
RC, how are you?
So if you need a YouTube strategist, he's your man. He can help you run your shows, help you grow your YouTube pages. He's amazing. So that's why we have him. And then we have Goodwin Graphics. Who loves Ronnie Goodwin more than me? I don't think anybody does. Cottonfeelsgood.com is his website, and he is going to be providing us with t-shirts if I can ever get my act together and design the t-shirts. He's waiting for me, Michelle. It's all on me. It's not him. So don't be mad at him. And then, of course,
be mad at Ronnie Goodwin.
Yeah, never be mad at him. And then, of course, there is Cards That Wow, which is me. And in this season of love and Valentine's Day and my campaign to Don't Hate Valentine's Day, part 1, part 2, this is part 3. You know, if you want to give a gift that's not a card, that can say anything you want it to say, it's completely customizable and personalized. Make that special Valentine love you even more because you didn't just send them a card or box of chocolates.
Yeah. So, I mean, handmade gift.
I know.
That's very, very special. And she does beautiful work, y'all.
Thank you.
Yes, they will say wow, definitely.
And there's Barry Butler. Hello, Barry. So I'll try not to interrupt flows of conversation during this, but just bear with me, okay? So please share this out if you like it. If you are watching it on the replay.
This is going to be great information. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can always catch us on Facebook on the Candidly Speaking with Chelle Kell page.
Yes. And we're even on Instagram.
Larry Levine, come on.
I know we should probably skip our little talk about whatever beauty or hair. You know,
we have Larry Levine. And you all, I'm sure probably everyone who's watching is familiar with Larry. Larry is the author of Selling from the Heart.
I can't find my copy, but
Selling from the Heart. An absolutely wonderful. You learn something on every page. Very easy to read. Larry's thoughts and concepts with regard to sales and probably just life in general are brilliant. So please, if you do not have this book, get it. Okay, it is absolutely a wonderful read. And again, information that you can put in, knowledge that you can put into play immediately in your sales career. So not only did he write the book, but he also is the co-host of the Selling from the Heart podcast, co-host with Daryl Amy, who is equally
Another-
amazing. Absolutely.
Another great, amazing guy. Yeah.
Absolutely. Really, really nice guy. Also, he is the co-founder of Social Sales Academy. And he is with us tonight from, it's Thousand Oaks, California, correct?
Yes.
I was going to say LA. So from Thousand Oaks, please help us welcome Larry Levine.
Hey, what's going on?
Larry Levine.
Hey, by the way, Michelle, I love your accent.
Oh,
Isn't it
thank
great?
you. See, now, do you think I sound like I'm from Hooterville, Larry?
No.
Okay, where's
Be
that?
careful. Be careful.
Green Acres, Hooterville.
Oh, Green Acres.
Oh, yeah.
Green Acres is
Yeah.
a place to be.
So is Chelle Kell.
Thank you. I am straight up Kentucky right here, Larry. So
wow.
yeah, which is a wonderful place to be as well. So thank
Hey, I
you.
wonder if Eric's eating pizza right now.
I don't know, wearing bedazzled pants.
I know he's wearing bedazzled pants.
Eric,
I
what
can
kind of pants
guarantee
you have
that.
on, dude? All y'all. That's right.
Oh,
Okay,
hey,
Randy's
I
chiming
got
in now.
okay, Michelle. I got a really funny story about all y'all. So
Let's hear it.
a couple years ago, I'm on stage doing a keynote. I do a lot of work with send out cards.
Oh, yeah.
And so here I am, and I'm halfway in the middle of my keynote. And I just love playing with the crowd, even on a keynote. And I'm halfway through it, and I catch myself saying, all y'all, because I hang around Daryl too much.
What's wrong with that?
Well, no, there's nothing wrong with it, except I'm from Southern California, and Southern California people don't say all y'all. And so all of a sudden I stopped dead in my tracks in my keynote, and I go, there's like 750 people out in the audience. I said, you know what? I can't believe I just said all y'all. And everyone just started laughing. So when I just heard it, I had to say it.
You know, all y'all is different than y'all. It is. And there's some tricks to learning it.
So is y'all just like a couple people, and all y'all is like
It's
a big
under
old crowd?
5,
right?
Okay, I'm talking to y'all. See, I said it. I'm talking to y'all right now, okay? But if I'm talking to everybody that's watching, that's all y'all.
Okay.
All
It's
y'all.
more than 5, right?
Then
It has to be more than 5.
Yeah. Because, you know, Kellen is a recent transplant to the South. So, you know, she's learning. She's working
It's all
on it,
good.
baby steps. She's got.
I'm very
this down.
careful in using
Yeah.
that term.
Yeah, but
And I also learned that when they say "bless your heart," it's not nice.
well, you know, bless your heart can mean about 5,000 different things. It really
For
can.
me in this instant, it was like you're an idiot.
Well, we'll see. In Southern, I didn't think we were going to start talking about Southern talk, but this is kind of cool. See, but in Southern California, bless your heart means something totally different. And there's
What does
usually
it mean
some
in Southern
other.
California?
It could mean there's some words in there, and I don't want to say them.
Well, I was looking for moonshine at the grocery store
Did
in
they
the
have-
Bible Belt.
Oh, well,
So bless my heart.
bless your heart. That's right. Bless your heart.
Oh man.
Yeah, it can mean all kinds of things.
Oh.
In Illinois, it means bless your heart.
Yeah.
That's
It
exactly what
can
it means.
mean that here, but like I said, that's one of a cajillion.
Yeah. But it's
Definitely.
it's the tone of voice that they use. Bless your
And the
heart.
facial expression. If they're going like this,
Bless your heart. Yeah, that's what I got. I've
I'm
learned
sure
so
you-
much since I moved here.
we got the Winn-Dixie looking for moonshine.
Oh, look who's here. Our friend Cynthia.
Cynthia Mannion. Thank you for watching. Cynthia's just a wonderful. Larry, do you know Cynthia?
I recognize the name.
Yeah, she's a good girl.
She's
a good girl.
amazing. Another amazing.
Yeah,
She's been on our show a
absolutely.
couple times.
Yes, yeah, I've been really good friend of the show.
Yeah.
So Larry Levine,
Yes.
I have to tell you that I listen to you just about every morning on my way in to work. So here's my question for you. I wanted to start this the way you start so many things.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, no, I just want to know what does selling from the heart mean, Larry Levine?
To me, it means bringing your best version of yourself forward. And I'll keep it real short. It's about giving a rip. It's about giving a rip about yourself,
See,
your
this is
clients, your
My
future
favorite
clients.
Yeah.
It's as I was writing the book, and I learned a lot from my mentors along the way, is I wanted to splash my book with quotes, and there's a lot of them in there that get people to think, that are one-liners that I can compress a whole paragraph into a sentence. And to me, selling from the heart is giving a rip. Just, you got to be able to give a rip about yourself. But here's what's interesting. Because we've been asking that question on selling from the heart for years and years and years. And I thought I have heard it all. I mean, Daryl and I think, I wait until there's that moment where I go, okay, I haven't heard this one before. And there's two that just strike a chord with me. And I'll share them with you guys because I think it encapsulates what it means to sell from the heart. And one person said one time, it depends on what's in your heart. And let's just stop and think about that. And then I'll layer on top of this, it's hard to sell from the heart if your heart's broken. And I want to make this really sales centric for a second, because sales is tough. And I write about it in Selling from the Heart. And I sold copiers in LA for my whole entire career. I spent 28, almost 29 years doing it. And selling copiers is tough. You just get beat up because you're selling things that break in a highly dysfunctional channel. And you got to have a strong heart. And if your heart's weak, if it's broken and all that, it's hard to really bring your authentic self to the forefront. So that's where it's first thing is we got to be able to work on our heart. And that's tough work. And no one really wants to go there. And until you really go down the journey of really knowing who you are and really, really, really understanding it, it's hard to sell from the heart. It just becomes surface level stuff. So that's the first one, as far as just depending on what's in your heart. Another one said, well, it's hard to sell from the heart if you don't even know what's in it.
No,
and this is, I bring these up for a reason because, I see my friend Randy in the chat, and I had the honor of being on his podcast earlier today. And we were even talking about some of this is we have to really go on this journey of self-discovery, and very few really want to go there. Mm-hmm. And I think words like, especially hang out on social media for less than 5 minutes, and you're going to see authenticity and realness and genuine, and people spraying it all over the place. I'm not here to disrespect anyone, and so forth. They may lead that lifestyle. But if you really want to be authentic, you got to dig in deep. And to me, that's what selling from the heart's all about. Is it's hard to sell from the heart if you haven't done the work to your heart.
If you're not being true to yourself, you can't be true to your client. There's no way.
No, and people smell this. We all know we have 5 senses. We all know what those 5 senses are. We learned about them when we were in school. But I'm a big believer, and there's no scientific research around this. But I believe we have a 6th sense, and that 6th sense is bull crap.
It's a detector.
And if there's, and that meter is at an all-time high right now. Mm-hmm. If we just look at what's happened over the last couple of years, it's at all-time highs. And this is why I believe selling from the heart and really going on that journey of self-discovery is so important, because there's 3 things. There's 3 things that go against sales people, anyone who's in sales. I don't care if it's B2C, B2B, it doesn't matter. This all plays out. Is there's a lack of trust in sales. It's so low right now that it saddens me. I mean, it's really, really low. In fact, I was doing some research because I'm getting ready to, I'll throw a little tidbit out there. I'm into writing my 2nd book right now, the sequel to Selling from the Heart. So there's not too many people to know. So, because I've kept it a secret, I guess it's not a secret now, but, and I was doing some research because I'm putting some of this into the beginning of my book. And I follow organizations like Gallup and Edelman. I'm a big Gartner freak. I love everything that Gartner produces. But Gallup did a poll, and it was the tail end of last year. And of all the people they researched, 8% in this survey, 8% trusted salespeople.
Wow.
They were right on par with politicians.
Oh my.
But here's what's different. I'm going to get to the other 2 in a second. But here's what's interesting. And this is why I believe selling from the heart just needs to happen, and it's a movement we're building, is because 89% of everyone surveyed trusted nurses. They're the most trustworthy when it comes to professionals that are out there. Two simple reasons: they lead with heart and they lead with empathy. Mm-hmm. So here's my question to everyone in sales: are you leading with heart and you leading with empathy, knowing that you have to almost build trust and credibility instantaneously with somebody? Mm-hmm. Especially when the second thing, the BS meters are at all-time high right now. And here's the other thing: they're skeptical about everything you have to say. So and this is what I was really cognizant of when I walk into conversations, is they don't trust us. They think we're full of BS, and they're skeptical about everything we have to say. So how do I overcome that? Two things. You got to be able to connect and relate to people. And if you cannot connect and relate to yourself, it's going to be really hard to connect and relate to your clients and your future clients, and for that matter, anybody out in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So Sean has a question for you. What do you think is the connection between the journey of self-discovery and self-improvement?
I think the biggest thing is the willingness to do it. So when we start thinking about what do you think the connection between the journey of self-discovery, that's the hardest thing to do, is to really discover who you are, and then from there be willing to do it.
Yeah.
And let me, and this is why is I learned more about myself the last couple of years than I did probably in the last 2 decades combined, because I made a commitment to myself to go on that journey to really uncover who I was, what made me tick, what are my values. And then the most important thing, I did something about it. I think there's one thing to uncover it, but then what are you going to do with it? Okay, now you've gone on the road, right? You walked into the kitchen, you opened up the cupboard. Now what? Now what are you going to do about it? Mm-hmm. And you may not like what you see when you get there, but you have to make the commitment that you're going to do something about it.
Right.
And I think that connection is doing something about it. I'm going to even go back to, you got to give a rip. You got to give a rip about yourself.
Absolutely, you do. And I have to tell you that if I had to sum up what I learned from your book and what I learned from your podcast, that's it. Like I said, I have it written here. I wanted to talk about it. All comes down to giving a rip, because you nailed it, Larry. And you're right. People can sense that a mile away. If you don't care, you're not going to get that trust. One of the things that I struggle with, open to advice here, okay, looking for suggestions. But when I do those deep dives and I look, what do I need to take care of internally? What do I need? What in Michelle needs fixing? I'll go through and I'm like, okay, that's okay. That's okay. Check, check, check. And then I get to the stuff that's maybe a little muckier.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I want to table that, Scarlett here is going to worry about that tomorrow. So, what advice can you give me and probably some others out there? Like I said, I want to put that on the back burner. I know it's
no. You bring up a really great point, and I'll tell you what helped me overcome some of the things, because, I'll throw it out there. I have self-doubt, right? I have fear. I have self-limiting beliefs. I doubt myself all the time. But here's been the key to it, is when I feel that stuff coming on, I have about 5 or 6 accountability partners. And instantaneously, I just pick up my phone and I text them. I said, hey, I need to talk to you. And then I just say, hey, here's what I'm going through. Here's why I'm feeling like that. Here's why I'm thinking like that. And we just walk through it. I have a business coach and I have a life coach, and they both help me through it.
I think having a coach is integral in getting to that point where you are true to your heart and yourself, and you can be true to your clients. you can go your whole life tabling, like, like you said, Michelle, you can go your whole life just, it's uncomfortable, so I'm going to push that off to the side, and you never get to it. But a coach and somebody that is accountable, that makes you accountable, I think is the key in getting past that roadblock, that particular roadblock.
That's why over the past couple years, I've guarded and added and subtracted people inside my inner circle. Mm-hmm. For that very reason.
Yep.
It literally, and I'm talking, I have an inner circle that it doesn't matter what time of the night it is. Mm-hmm. I know that because I get up at crazy hours anyway, that I can literally pick up my phone and text somebody, "Hey, I really need to talk," and they'll call me. And I think that's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I hate to get. I see what Sean put up there, and do you think he goes? Sorry, I just happened to see it pop up, so my apologies to you.
I hit the button by mistake. I
just saw it, but he said. But he goes, "Do you think nurses being trusted is COVID driven?" No, because if you look at survey after survey after survey, year over year, and we could take these back decades, literally decades. Nurses and doctors usually jockey for 1-2 position, and it's not COVID. It's not COVID driven.
The nurses are always trusted. I've been taking care of parents and ill relatives, the last 10 years, and I go to the nurse. The nurse is going to shoot me straight. The nurse is going to tell me for some reason, they will tell you more than what the doctor can tell you. And I think they earn your trust just by being willing to talk to you.
And so here's the thing. Here's my challenge to everybody in sales is what's preventing you from leading with heart and leading with empathy. And here's why I say this. There's a big division. I see it, and I removed the barrier a long time ago. Long time ago. Is people have a professional life, they have a personal life, and I find they act two different ways. Mm-hmm. However, big capital, however, they'll say relationships matter. Well, if relationships matter, as a salesperson, then why are you dumping on your customers when I know that you wouldn't dump in your personal relationships?
Right.
Exactly.
Think about that. And that's why I talk about sales chaos. So my big thing is if you can lead with heart and you can lead with empathy in your personal relationships, because that's how we know that you connect and create that sense of belonging. We crave it as humans. Then what prevents us from doing that in sales?
I think a lot of people their eyes are opening up to that. You can't be two different people. And Eric Bam is an example of that. He opens up about he has 3 aspects that he opens up about, and that makes him human and makes him authentic and a real live person. And that's exactly what you're talking about. And I think if a lot more people did that, I think the journey would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing is if we look at this, especially looking at this through the lens of a salesperson, when you're having conversations with people out in the marketplace, whether they're your current clients, right? Obviously, they're current clients. They already know you're in sales. But if they're not your clients, quit masking it. They already know you're in sales. Let's just get that out on the table. I never overcomplicated anything. That's why I love where Cynthia says she's been selling copiers for 22 years, right? Whew. Oh, wow. I can't believe I sold copiers for 28 years, but nevertheless. But here's the deal. I remember, this is why I'm bringing this up. I remember my very first business coach. I hired my very first business coach at 40. So 17 and a half years ago. So now you can all do the math. And now you know how old I am. I remember I struggled with a lot of stuff at 40. And I'm surprised because I was number one in my company forever. But I got to that point where I knew something was missing. It goes back to like Michelle, like what you had said is, I might know there's some things that I just don't want to go down. I knew there were some things that were just preventing me from even getting to greater heights. And I couldn't do this by myself. Mm-hmm. So I hired a business coach. Mm-hmm. And I said, and this is where I really learned the art of going down to that inner road. But I worked with this person for 90 days and spent a lot of money. This is a long time ago for a 90-day journey. But one of the things he said, he goes, Larry, he goes, if you want to have success in sales, stop acting like a salesperson. You know, you learn some of these things, just these little innuendos along the way that slap you across the face.
Yeah.
And I think what happens is we walk, talk, and act like salespeople. How about if we walk, talked, and acted like a human?
Like people.
Because like people, and remove the titles. And it was just these little things that I learned along the way, simple and silly as they sound. I never really overcomplicated sales from that point on. It's just, I'm having a conversation with Michelle, who happens to be the CFO at insert name of company. I'm having a conversation with Kellen, who's the CEO of insert name of company. That's just have a conversation. And what I really keyed in on was the first 5 to 6 minutes of that conversation, because I knew all the things that were going on in people's heads. Right. Do I trust this person? Are they credible? Are they full of BS? What's going to come out of their mouth? Is it company centric? Is it product centric? And I just flipped it on its head.
So Larry, let me ask you this. If, let's say you are face to face, you know, if you can do that now, or Zoom, you know, for the first time, looking this person in the face, be that virtually or you know, in person, what's the first thing that comes out of your mouth? How do you start?
You seriously, you want to know? Okay. This, and I learned this from my business coach, very first business coach. Because I will hold my hand up and say I had phobia prospecting. Okay. And this person said, "Hey, Larry, do you have any problem talking to your friends?" I said, "No." "How do you start your conversation off with your friends?" I said, "Hey, what's going on? How you doing? What's been going on?" He goes, "Try it when you're prospecting, and try it with how you use the phone. I will tell you this, and Daryl has witnessed this, mark my word. I will get chief sales officers and CEOs and CROs on Zoom calls, and the very first words that come out of my mouth, 'Hey, Michelle, what's going on? What have you been up to?'" They're not expecting
like a real person.
It's like a real person.
Real conversation.
It's really simple things. "Hey, what have you been up to?" Yeah. "Hey, I'm so glad to see you. I've been looking forward to this one."
Not an empty suit, Larry.
No.
Not an empty suit.
No.
I have that sticker. It's actually right here on my laptop. Look, every email, everything I see. No empty suit, and selling from the heart.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, good advice.
Okay, Randy wants to know why do so many folks fear being open and honest with customer friends?
I think the biggest reason is fear of unknown, because they may not hear what they want to hear, or they're too afraid of being, or something's going to happen. I mean, I'm a big believer. If you really want to know what's going on, you got to be willing to ask. And if you're willing to ask, then accept what happens next. And a lot of people, they're too afraid to accept what may happen next.
Do you think they're afraid to ask the question because they may know the answer and they're afraid of the answer?
Possibly.
I know that was a fear I had.
But again, I always say this: you can get a PhD from your current clients if you're willing to ask.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, literally, all you got to do is ask. I have this interesting. It's kind of a corny rhyme, but follow along with me.
Okay.
The more you know, the more you grow. So the more you know about your clients, the more you'll grow with your clients. The more you learn from your clients, the more you earn from your clients. And the only way that happens is you got to be massively curious, and you got to be willing to ask questions about you. And I was an open freaking book with my clients. I wanted to know, because that's how I learn. That's how I knew I'd grow, and I'd grow with them. The reason being, it's quite simple. Most salespeople will not ask the questions.
You're right.
I mean, here's another one, and this is just to push the button and poke the bear. But I will ask salespeople, get a group of salespeople in a room together and say, "Hey, it's a safe environment, open, honest, right? Just go ahead. This is a free for all." And here's the question. Do y'all think you have great, hey, did you hear that, Michelle? Y'all, do y'all think that you have great relationships with your clients? And everyone, right? Everyone, I can guarantee it, mark my word, everybody in the room is going to raise their hand. They're going to go, yes. Then here's my next question. How do you all know that? How do you all know that you have great relationships with your clients? Now, here's the next caveat around that. How often do you see your clients? Right?
Right.
How often are you in communication with your clients? And it's not, I'm checking in and I'm touching base.
Right.
Those are the two things that are like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But does the relationship that you think you have with your clients, is that the same relationship that your clients think they have with you?
That's a good question.
And the only way you're going to find out, which goes to Randy's question, is you got to dig in and you got to ask and you got to ask and you got to ask. And you got to be willing just to listen to it.
And be prepared for that answer.
Right. And you know what? And it may not be things that you want to hear,
right.
but that's okay. That's how you can improve.
Right. How else are you going to fix it?
Exactly. But if there are things that you go, that puts a smile on your face, or you know what, you just made my day. Those are when you ask for testimonials and referrals.
Yeah. Yeah. That stuff's golden. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We got a lot of comments going on, but let's get another one of your questions, Michelle.
Another one of my questions?
Yeah, because I've been pushing this button with all the comments. I want you to be able to make sure.
Because I can't read the comments, right?
I know. That's why he probably has me doing it.
Get it far enough away from me to read.
You know what? Because I'm this is a free for all. So hey, Cynthia in chat, why don't you go ahead and put where you sell copiers at? I'm just curious.
Oh yeah. Oh, here's a comment about Cynthia. She is the real deal.
Yeah. We have good people on the show. Good people. Cynthia's a doll. Talk a little bit about Larry, if you don't mind, about adopting a servant leadership mindset.
Oh, I love it. It's chapter 6 of my book. I'm a big believer in this. It's hard to understand what it means to serve if you've never lent a helping hand out in the community. That's where you're going to understand what it means to serve. You got to be willing to go out into the marketplace, out in the community, and give. Find some place to volunteer, right? Find an organization to get involved with. I really learned what this means because I'm an active Kiwanis member where I live in Thousand Oaks. And it just warms my heart because part of what we do is Meals on Wheels. Some of y'all might know what Meals on Wheels is. They pretty much have them throughout the United States. When I can pick up food and then go out and deliver it to people who can't get out of the house, they're usually elderly. And the expressions on their face and the conversations you have and the relationships that you build, you're doing this because you care. You're lending a helping hand. You're serving the community. There's a big difference between to serve and to be of service. And you'll never know what it means to serve unless you're willing to lend a helping hand and not ask for anything in return. Right. If you can't do that, it's hard to understand what it means to serve. And I'm really going to throw this out in sales, because in sales, quite often we will say this: I'm here to be of service to you. We have great service. But guess what? Service is 100% a defensive move. You're reacting to a situation. When you learn how to serve, you're going on the offensive. You're being proactive. Think about that for a second.
But you're right. We certainly like to throw that word around. Absolutely.
And I think what happens is people throw the word around, but are you congruent with the words you're throwing around? Does the walk match the talk?
Are the actions?
And if the walk doesn't match the talk, you're going to get called out on the carpet, and I'm just going to call you an empty suit.
Yeah, and that's what you deserve. That's what you deserve.
And that's why, and I write about it throughout my whole entire book, is that's why there's a big difference between a sales rep and a sales professional. And there will not be a time that goes by that I don't put it out on social, that I get a private message from somebody that doesn't have very nice things to say. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. But then my comment back is, why don't you put it out there publicly so people see it, as opposed to just sending it to me? Mm-hmm. But there's a huge difference. Sales reps find excuses to do things. Sales professionals, they just go out and do it, and they don't have any excuses. Right. And then the big thing is, I'm going to poke this thing on to serve. You got to be willing to serve, and serve means you're intentional behind everything that you do, and you're proactive. You don't wait for somebody to say, hey, I got an issue. Mm-hmm. You're in there all the time.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you're not waiting for someone to acknowledge your service.
I mean, it's okay for somebody to acknowledge your service. That's fine. It happens to all of us.
But you're not waiting for it. That's just the frosting on the cake.
But it's a huge mindset shift when you can look somebody in the eye and say, how may I serve you? Mm-hmm. Versus, how can I be of service? Mm-hmm. It's all mindset. It's all mindset. It's words matter and message matters.
And you're not necessarily looking for accolades.
Exactly.
You're authentic. And just as people can smell the crap, they smell that as well.
And I think right now, if we look at it straight across the board, here would be, and I'll throw it out to everyone who's listening or people who are going to watch the replay, is go ask your clients, what do they crave when it comes to working with salespeople?
What do they crave?
What do they crave? What do they want? What do they expect? Describe what it looks like.
That's a good.
And guess what? You will find out the answers. And then here's the thing: is once you find out the answers, then just do it.
And isn't that key? Because again, and I know I keep throwing myself under the bus here, talking about all of my shortcomings, but I really like to do the research and come up with, maybe a strategy. Here's my plan. Here's the way. And all the plans in the world are fantastic. You got to put some, feet on those bad boys and do it. And I don't know if that's sometimes maybe just, I don't trust myself to do it. I don't know how it's going to be received, so something else I got to work on, Larry Levine.
Well, I would here's something to think about in, it's confidence.
Yeah.
Do you have the confidence enough to roll it out? And do you have the confidence enough to hear it?
That's big.
Yeah.
And I think here's the thing is I think all too often it's if we're afraid as salespeople to ask these deep questions, we're never going to get to what really matters. And I think salespeople, how can I phrase this? That I'm just going to say it. I think salespeople just think that they can outsmart and outwit everybody. And I'm not saying all salespeople, but I'm just saying there's a good population out there that are like that.
Yeah,
and it is okay to let your guard down. It's okay to ask these questions. As silly as they may sound, I promise you this: how you think you'll be viewed is going to be completely different than how you will really be viewed by your clients and anybody else you ask those questions. I mean, here's the only reason why I know, because I ask them. I ask them all the time. And people will tell you. People will literally tell you what's on their mind, what's on their heart, what they crave, what's a good experience, what's a bad experience. Walk me through walk me through a salesperson that wows you. Describe to me what that looks like. How did you get to that? How did you get to that point? Now, conversely, walk me through a salesperson that just really ticks you off.
Yeah.
What sets you off? What's that look like? See, as salespeople, we got to ask. We got to be willing to ask and dig in deep and really get to the heart of what matters.
Yeah. I think a lot of times we go in, or we know what the prospect needs. We know what the client needs. We know what the customer needs. And we don't ask because we already know, Yeah.
But they sure want to tell us, and we should give them that opportunity, right?
Because we don't know.
And it may be different.
Yeah, we don't know.
So here's the thing is, how do you know what they really know unless you're willing to ask them what's going on at that moment in time?
Right.
Hey, what are two things that's really weighing on your mind right now?
Mm-hmm.
What have you been working on the last 30 days? What's one thing you have to remove off your business plate in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah.
You got to be willing to ask those questions and not canned, scripted questions that your marketing department gives you.
Yeah.
Or you find on the back of a brochure.
Let me ask you this. Let me take it to the end. What do you think? There's always some there's some kind of technique for this is when you close, this is how you close, this is what are your thoughts on that, Larry? Talk about closing.
I will tell you this. I was the world's worst closer. Serious. I never worried about. I never worried about it. Here's where I placed all my focus on. Is I placed all my focus on the beginning. I focused all my attention on the beginning and setting the stage and gaining agreements along the way of what to do next. And then I didn't have, and I share this with you because I would literally fight with sales managers that I have. And then I bought into a copier dealership and I had business partners but I was in a really dysfunctional role because I was a business partner and I was running the sales department, and it was just became really dysfunctional. And I would fight with these people all the time because we all know what happens at the last week of the month. It's like everything you said at the beginning of the month just gets thrown out the window, right? Mm-hmm. Which then you lose respect and all of that stuff. And I'm going to tell you this, salespeople and sales managers have trained their clients and their buyers what to do in the last week of the month.
Okay.
Think about that. Hey, Rich, I just see Rich Falar. Hey, Rich, I'm so glad that you can come on this, but then I hardly see you in my group, right? Okay, now I know where your allegiance lies, Falar.
Yeah, Rich loves us, Larry. Sorry.
Oh, I know. It's all good. It's all good. But no. But getting back to this closing thing is, did I ask for business? Yes, but I asked for it in a way that wasn't that traditional closing. Mm-hmm. And it was just, literally still to this day, I never leave any conversation without a next step that's agreed upon, that's mutually agreed upon next step, and that something is not on a calendar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good advice.
When I work with sales teams and sales leaders, it blows my mind that a salesperson could have a conversation with somebody and then they don't mutually agree on what's the next best step. Mm-hmm. Hey, well, this sounds great. Well, I'm keeping it obviously silly simple for right now, but it may not go down like this, but this is how I view it going down. Hey, I just had a great conversation with Michelle. We have small talk. Well, great. Michelle say, well, let me look over all this information. I'll get back to you in a couple weeks. Great. What's going to happen between now and the next couple weeks? What's a good next step? How about this? Why don't we put something on the calendar?
Yeah.
For 2 weeks from now, 10 minutes. We'll just hop on a quick call and discuss it. But no, too many salespeople will go, okay, well, this sounds great. I'll give you a call back in 2 or 3 weeks. And guess what? 2 or 3 weeks turn into 2 or 3 more weeks. And then before you know it, right, nothing happens.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then you come crawling back and begging. But if you open this in a heartfelt, sincere manner, this is why I'm a big believer that connect and relate are the two biggest things you must do in the first 5 to 10 minutes of a conversation. And that's where they're either going to say, this person has the goods or this person doesn't have the goods. And they may still be in that conversation, but they've mentally checked out if you don't have the goods. So every conversation, I'll ask them, what's the best next step? What would you like to see happen? It's not what I'd like to see happen. What would you like to see happen? That's how you humanize all of this stuff. They already know you're in sales.
Right. And it's not about us. It's about them. We like to think it's about us.
Right. And here's the deal is if you can't get on their calendar as an actionable next step, then I go, you know what? Maybe this really isn't a prospect.
That's right. That's right.
Doesn't mean that it may not happen somewhere down the road.
Well, yeah. So talk about that. So what do you do if you've decided, I mean, do you revamp your approach? Do you, or do you ever, just cut bait and say, there's not good.
You know what? I'm rip roaring. I am rip roaring up front with people in a very professional way. If I sense this isn't going anywhere, I'll just say it. It just sounds like this isn't the right fit.
Yeah.
However, if we've been dancing for a while and we do get actionable next steps and there are some agreements along the way, but my gut tells me we're just dancing. I will point blank I'll say, hey, Kellen, you know what? I'm here to let you know it's okay to tell me no. It's perfectly okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings. It's just not the right fit, and that's okay. We will still be friends. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I have literally said that to people. And the next thing that comes out of their mouth, 9 times out of 10, they will give me somebody I can have a conversation with.
So you
either they're going to freely say it, right? Or I'm going to say, hey, you know what, Michelle? It's okay. It's okay for you to tell me no. We will still be friends. But by the way, in the circle of friends you run around with, that you hang out with, is there somebody that you can introduce me to that I can at least have a business conversation with and get to know them?
Yeah. And again, you're being authentic. Absolutely. And it's just a conversation. It's a real conversation.
See, here's the thing is there's 3 C's that I just live by that a lot of people, unfortunately, in sales struggle with. Is you got to be clear, you got to be concise, and you got to be able to deliver that message with conviction.
Okay.
And if you don't, they're going to sense it. That's why tonality and how you look somebody in the eye and how you lean in and the words you use are so freaking important. Hey, I love this chatter going on. I just happened to glance down there. Falar put, what do you suggest as an appropriate next step? And Charles Coachman said, you can't lose something you never had. Somebody pop in chat where this thing's going so we can address it, because I think it's important before I really read into it.
Okay. Well, first I wanted to let him know he said howdy all.
I love Charles. He always says howdy.
I know. And then
so I think I'm gonna read into this, and I want to address it because Rich goes, well, what do you suggest as an appropriate next step? I don't think there's anything wrong with asking that. They're gonna tell you. I think we got to be able to listen. And this is why it's so important. And sales funnel is going to determine this. Sales funnel will determine what happens next. If you got a weak sales funnel, you're just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. If you have an ever-flowing sales funnel, watch what starts to happen in these conversations. But to me, hey, what's a great next step? What's that look like? I don't think there's anything wrong with asking that. Because people will tell you. But I don't know where this is going. Where he says you can't lose something you never had. I just happened to glance through the chat. So
yeah.
What's this one say? This one, what?
Yeah. Charles, you want to chime back in? Yeah, and I'm looking. I can't read it.
No,
and I got behind.
No, but it's all good. But here's the thing: is we have to be able to bring these types of conversations to the table. Mm-hmm. They're genuine, they're authentic, and they're real. These are business conversations. These are what C-level people. They're in conversations with other C-level people, and I promise you this: they're using that kind of language. Mark my word, they're using that kind of language. Weak salespeople use weak language. Mm-hmm. Strong salespeople use high levels of business. They have high levels of business acumen, and they're very strong with their business conversational skills. And they don't use words in between like, but, you know.
We had Jennifer Gittimer on several weeks ago, and I don't recall, did she call it weak language, Kellen? What did she call it? But that's exactly what she said as well, Larry. And I find myself doing this, particularly, I think, if I'm emailing someone or sending some type
like using the word just.
Yeah,
or,
just, I
yeah.
just
When her and Jeffrey came on the Authentic Selling Challenge, they were talking about that, right? But
yeah.
So this is a great time to bring this up, because all too often, because I have conversations with sales leaders on a daily basis. One of the things that just worries them to death is their salespeople are having conversations at wrong levels. Relationships are built at wrong levels. So this is key in on this. When salespeople have weak business acumen and weak business conversational skills, mark my word, they get stuck at purchasing all the time. When salespeople are confident, they have high business acumen, they have high business conversational skills, and they understand the language of executives, they can go upstream like that. But see, what happens is too many salespeople don't want to go upstream because they go, I don't want to piss somebody in purchasing off. Mm-hmm. But they'll allow them to beat them over the head with the price hammer all day long.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, Charles just answered. He said, I'm saying that things mess with our minds. When people say no, I tell myself that I can't lose something that I never had. And
perfect.
Yeah.
And it's okay. You know, I remember I was on a major account team a long time ago, and we went through some sales training. This was like decades ago. And they were just saying the faster you can get to know, the better. But here's, and I write about it in Selling from the Heart. And I said, if you want to have an ever-flowing sales funnel, you must build an ever-flowing relationship funnel. That applies to how you work with your clients and future clients. But you can ask some of these tough questions when you have full relationship funnels and full sales funnels. Mm-hmm. Most sales funnels that I see are just anemic. They're absolutely anemic. And that's why I firmly believe that salespeople have a relationship building problem.
Mm-hmm. So I'm switching gears here just a moment, so forgive me. But I want you to speak a little bit about prospecting. Okay. Tell us the Larry Levine take on prospecting.
It's chapter 5 of the book. It's 100% non-negotiable. 100% non-negotiable.
What do you think about cold calling?
I'm not going to go down the cold calling is the D word, but you know what? Cold calling is difficult. But here's the caveat to cold calling. The reason why cold calling doesn't work and has diminishing results based on the effort that you put into it is y'all have crappy conversations with people on the phone.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
I'd agree with that. Absolutely. Yes.
So, you know, hang out on LinkedIn for 5 minutes and you can find out anything you want to know about all these cold calling experts who think it's either right.
Connect with somebody on LinkedIn and you don't have to do cold calling.
Well, exactly. But here's the deal. Let's just set aside cold calling. Let's just call it business development. See, when you agreed that you wanted to enter into the world of sales, there's something that comes along with it. And I call these non-negotiable activities. And non-negotiable activities are prospecting. And you must hold yourself to a high degree of standards, and it must be non-negotiable, and you must prospect. Prospecting is the root of all the problems that exist in sales. And I will tell you this is once you start getting some tenure in sales, it becomes even worse.
Yeah.
And the issues that I see when I go one-to-one with tenured salespeople, some of their biggest struggles is around prospecting. And the reason why salespeople struggle with prospecting is they've forgotten to how to open up a conversation. I'll give you a case in point. My old dealership that I was at, my old copier dealership, when I left, the next in line inherited all my accounts, and then that person became the number one salesperson, and so forth. Great high relational skills, super nice guy. But he goes, Larry, I'm struggling on net new business. And I said, here's the biggest thing. It's because you're having conversations with people who know you all the time. You're not having enough conversations with people who don't know you, and you're out of practice. Let's just think about that for a second. However, if you build authentic relationships and you bring meaningful value and you really understand the issues, challenges, goals, dreams, aspirations of your current clients, they are giving you the gold to prospect for new business. And it's what you do with it, and it's how you leverage this to open up conversations with people who don't know you. But here's what's happening. We train our salespeople to open up conversations the exact same way with everybody. How about if we brought to these conversations what we know about working with our current clients? Hey, here's the 3 issues. In working with my clients over the last 60 days, here's the 3 issues that we're helping them overcome. Issue A, B, and C. I'm just curious, any of these hit home with you? You can literally roll that out in 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. Hey, in working with other CFOs just like you, the 3 things I'm helping them to overcome are this, this, and that. I'm just curious. Any of those hit home? I call into VP of sales and heads of sales all the time. It'll go something like, hey, Michelle, in working with VP of sales over the last 90 days, we've been uncovering these 3 issues going on their sales team right now. Their sales team's struggling to grow net new business. They're struggling to build deeper, wider relationships inside their client base. And they're worried about client retention. Hey, Michelle, I'm just curious, which one of those 3 hit home the most with you? Mm-hmm. And listen. And just listen to what they have to say. They will say one of those. And then the next word out of your mouth, hey, Michelle, I'm just curious, why'd you say that? Mm-hmm. And listen. Mm-hmm. Michelle will then say something. Well, why do you think that's happening? I'm just curious. And listen. What would you do about it? Just curious. Hey, Michelle, I appreciate that you just spent this amount of time with me. Totally up to you. Hey, I'm just curious, how open-minded would you be to another conversation where we can peel this back even more? Would it be all right with you if you set aside another 30 minutes and we can really peel this back? I have some ideas and some insights, and I know you weren't prepared for it. Yeah. That literally will work. I know it works. I use it all the time and it works.
Of course it would. Absolutely. Have the conversation and then set the time for the next conversation.
Yeah. I mean, literally, if salespeople knew the issues and challenges, dreams, goals, aspirations of their top 5 clients, those top 5 clients will give you all the prospecting gold to go out and prospect for new conversations. Yeah.
I'm Chelle.
Think about that.
See what Charles said.
Oh, so Charles, I have found that a lot of salespeople don't really like prospecting and make it about themselves, when conversations should center around the needs of the prospects. That's exactly in line with what
I mean, sorry, I'm just going to go there, but if salespeople hate prospecting, they need to get out of sales.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I mean, prospecting is 100% non-negotiable. I will tell you this. I prospect 7 days a week. The way I held myself accountable in the Copier channel is the way that I've grown selling from the heart with Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
Literally 7 days a week on my calendar. It's blocked. And I block 7 days a week to prospecting. You might be going, BS. I'm going to call BS on you. I mean, I could screen share my calendar right now and you'd see that it's blocked.
I'm not going to call it.
And here's the deal. And here's why I say this is it's just routine for me. When you get out of routine, and salespeople is this all about, you got to get into routines, rituals, and rhythms. And when you're all out of whack with all of that, it's going to really be hard to be successful in sales. You'll peak and valley. You will peak and valley all the time in sales. You want to have consistency, then do the right things consistently. And I write about in Selling from the Heart, salespeople are consistently inconsistent. That's why you have a couple great months, and then you have 3 or 4 really crappy months. Then you have a great month, and then you have another couple crappy months, and you ride the roller coaster. I said, get off the roller coaster and hold yourself accountable to do the things that you know you should be doing, but you all get wrapped up in doing stuff.
Yeah. Or sometimes I feel like maybe we rest on our laurels a little bit, hey, it was a great month, so you can't take a few days off because that funnel, maybe it's emptied. What's going in? Nothing while you're sitting around watching TV. It's just not going to happen.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and that's why there's certain, there are certain non-negotiables that I held myself accountable to. I'll give you a couple really simple ones. And I self-taught myself this. No one ever shared it with me. It just popped into my head one day. Is I held myself accountable for 2 appointments a day. That's how I started my mornings. 2 appointments a day. And here's how it went down. 1 appointment was with a current client. 1 appointment was net new. And so if I started on a Monday, right? Let's just say it's the Monday, it's the beginning of the month, right? Just so y'all can track with me on this, is I held myself to prospecting every single day. I prospected through my current client base. I'm a big believer. You want to grow net new business? Learn how to prospect through your current customers. That's a topic for another conversation. But I held myself every day. I had to get 2 appointments on my calendar somewhere within a 2-week period. So if I called Michelle, who's a current client, on a Monday, and I asked for some time on her calendar, it wasn't tomorrow. Psychological, because right away it just shares with somebody you got nothing going on.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd say,
free. Sure. Anytime.
I would just say, hey, Michelle, can we put this on the calendar somewhere in the next couple weeks? Boom. It'd go in the next couple weeks. Then I go, okay, I already nailed that one down. Then I'm on to now I got to find a net new conversation, a net new appointment somewhere on calendar. Boom, that went out there. And it took me a while to get there. But before you know it, think about this. That's 5 appointments you're setting up per week with your current clients. That's 5 appointments you're setting up with net new opportunities a week. Okay? Do the math. Freaking do the math. Mm-hmm. That's 20 current client appointments a month and 20 new opportunities a month. Mark my word. This is for full cycle salespeople, right? This is for salespeople that are responsible for finding their own stuff, which is like some of the people that are on this call right now. That's way more than what most people. I mean, I do a lot of one-to-one coaching with salespeople, and I ask them to share their calendars with me, and my jaws drop. Literally, my jaws drop. I go, what do you do with all that filler time? So when it comes to prospecting, hold yourself simply accountable It's a mindset thing more than anything else. Instead of making 70 dials, right? Death dials, learn on having business conversations. And I would tell myself, if I make 2 dials and I get 1 net new appointment off of 2 dials, I am freaking done. I don't pick up the phone. Then I go out and I start seeing my current clients and I start building deeper relationships and understanding what's going on in their office. Then I do a little bit of marketing and so forth. I say that because I do the exact same thing here at Selling from the Heart. And it's helped us really build something really special. Is I'm tightly woven in my message and I practice what I preach, because salespeople are smart. I will give them that. Just like clients and future clients smell BS, salespeople smell BS from sales trainers instantaneously. And I'm not going to look anybody in the eye and have them do something I don't do. I know this stuff works. It's simple things. You got to be able to hold yourself non-negotiable to do these things. And I promise you this, you will fill a funnel. If you want to have an ever-flowing sales funnel, do these things. A relationship funnel will drive your sales funnel. Yeah. My challenge to everybody in sales who has a client base, I don't care if it's B2C, B2B, right? I promise you this, the more people you get to know in your current customer base, the more they will help you grow your business. They are the keys to this. They are the absolute key to this. I remember, just real quick story is I remember, this goes back pre-COVID, and I was having a conversation with somebody who came on the podcast, and we went to lunch. They read the book, came on the podcast, and they said those sales professionals who can build, grow, and nurture their networks will future-proof their business. And I want everybody to think about this. You got to think about what's going on inside your customer base. I know this. I see it. Salespeople snuggle up to 1 or 2 people, 3 people at most inside their customer base. And there might be 100 people inside that organization. The more people you know, the more networks you can build inside your client base, the more they will help you grow your business. Is it going to require some work? Yes. Here's another story. I remember this because I was in last August. I traveled a lot last year, but last August, I was working with a client, and I was out there for 3 days. I had their CEO, their VP of sales, their head of marketing, and all their salespeople in a room. And all we did was take a deep dive and we relationship mapped their top 3 customers. And we got to their second largest customer. And I did this on a whiteboard, and I had them put their, I had CEO, CFO, CIO, operations manager, purchasing, right? We had this nice little whiteboard map working. Second largest customer. The salespeople had no idea who the CEO and the CFO of that company was. And it was their second largest customer. So here's my challenge, because I know there's salespeople that are in here. Here's my challenge. If you want to 2x, literally, if you want to 2x your sales results this year, prioritize your customers, put them in tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. A customers, B customers, C customers, however you want to just segment these out. And then work on your tier 1 and prioritize them. Who do I know? Who knows me? What do I know about them? What do they know about me? Do I understand their business issues and challenges? You're 1 degree of separation from your best sales opportunity. Salespeople are making it so difficult when it comes to prospecting. Want to grow new business? Prospect through your customer base. Build highly effective, engaging networks. And put yourself in proximity to people who have influence. And those are the people inside your current customers.
Yeah. You're smart, Larry Levine.
Thank you.
You're smart. Yeah.
So Miss Cynthia is going to raise her game because of this conversation.
Good. I'm excited to see where that goes, Cynthia.
I know we should should
I
let
don't
us
know, because Larry, we certainly want to be respectful of your time, and you're so gracious to be here with us. Is there anything else? Again, I can't read it. Anything else in the chat?
It's all good. It's all good. And you know what? I would just ask if anyone has any questions or anything like that, just reach out to Kellen and Michelle. Let them know, and I promise I'll get back to you, unless it's Rich Falar.
Rich talks to us every day. Come on, Larry. Always in touch with Rich.
Always. I just wanted to go back to JR. He said hello, and I didn't want him to think that we forgot him.
JR. Okay, so this is wonderful. Yes, we will absolutely get you in touch. Get you in touch with Larry. Make sure I listen to you on Spotify. I'm sure you're on all kinds of ways to get your podcast. Get the book.
I think we have
amazing.
I think Bruce has it on like the website. We can show
in the comments. Maybe that would be great if we could get that
the book. Here we go.
So this is there. You go.
Autographed copy.
Yeah, and look, see, autographed right there by Larry Levine. So this has just been wonderful, and I'm processing, because every time you open your mouth, I learn something. I do. So
thank you.
You're sitting here speaking, and I'm processing what you're saying, Larry. And I'm like, oh wait, I need to be saying something, but I'm listening, to just kind of trying to soak in everything that you've said. So guys, please share this out. This has been just an amazing time with Larry Levine, as we knew it would be. Larry, we do need to switch gears just very quickly, just for a short period of time, and we need to ask you about.
There we go.
Do you moisturize?
No.
Larry?
No, what is that?
But your face looks so fresh.
We have to end every show with that question.
We do. We ask everybody, what is your moisturizer?
The answer is none, zero.
None, no exfoliation, no nothing.
Zero, none,
you
nothing.
Wash your face with like lava or what?
How do you keep your face so beautiful?
Dove.
Okay.
Dove.
They've got a men's line. Is it Dove's men's stuff or just okay?
Yeah.
All right. So see, you got something going on.
So you're on a routine.
Yeah. I think you don't. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. That's got moisturizing stuff.
It's giving you a youthful glow. Okay.
And seriously, I did not think you were the age. I did the math.
I know, right?
Yeah. I thought you were going to start with a 4.
No.
I don't remember starting with a 4, but
I graduated high school. I graduated high school in 1982, and then you can all do the math from there.
Okay,
there we go. That was too easy for me to figure out.
Hey, by the way, really quick before we go, Kellen, I must say thank you.
Look at that.
I had so much fun making those.
Were you wowed, Larry? I know you were.
I was.
Were you surprised?
Hey, I was, and if they weren't away, I would grab them. Kellen's also done really nice selling from the heart cards for me. So shout out to Kellen.
Thank you. Yeah.
You all, because
Kellen and I mean, we kind of knew of each other, but Kellen and our paths crossed because she knew that I was having breakfast at the Gittimer's house when I was in Charlotte back in October.
Yep.
See?
Yeah.
I was kind of stalking you on LinkedIn, but it was in a good way, because I thought, I love his book. I need to talk to him. And so I just, I sent you a message and you responded.
Well, and when she said, Larry Levine's
I know. I said, he's going to be on our show.
What did you do? She said, I asked. There you go. Good things happen when you ask.
Yep.
So Larry Levine, thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. You're welcome. Anytime.
Absolutely
so
amazing.
Thank you so much.
Again, let us know that you're watching. Put some stuff in the comments. Get the book. Listen to the podcast. Learn something every day on your way into work, like this girl does from him. Larry, where he is.
There's Michelle.
That's what absolutely.
There's Larry. I've learned.
Like I said, I'm a little, starstruck here. So
Stop.
Hey, I cannot stop.
I'm starstruck when I get into a conversation with Falar.
Oh,
Yeah, he strikes our star too.
yes, we love us some Rich Villar. Rich Villar, call me. You're supposed to be. We got something to talk about.
Yeah, ditto.
We got something to talk about. So
that's how we get all the people to call us that haven't called us. That we see them in the comments and say, "Don't forget to call us."
Yeah. So, Larry, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Anytime.
To have you, and come back.
I will. All you gotta do is ask.
And we're going to go ahead and schedule that.
No.
Okay. We're not going to leave that open-ended because that's what we learned tonight. We're going to make sure.
We're going to set up another.
Somebody's at the Gittimers now.
I think they're having a mastermind. They're having a mastermind.
Then is Cynthia, is she in Charlotte?
Yeah, right now she is.
I think their mastermind's meeting right now.
Oh, hey, Cynthia, do me a favor. Tell Jeffrey I said hello and I appreciate him. And if Jennifer's there, give Jennifer a hug.
Jennifer might be watching. You never know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
She loves us.
We love them.
It's all good.
We're very lovable.
Okay, thank you all.
You're very welcome.
Everybody.
Thanks
See you next week.
All y'all for watching.
All y'all. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.